Okay, so um, you sent over some really cool stuff about Odisha
Hmm.
and this place called Jharsuguda.
Yeah.
It seems like it's becoming a real estate hotspot, and
Right.
we're going to try to figure out why that is.
Okay.
You've given us some excerpts from a real estate podcast
Yeah.
that really focuses on this region,
Uh-huh.
so we'll be exploring that together.
It's really interesting, how quickly Odisha has transformed.
Yeah,
I mean, this area known for its rich history and its culture,
right.
it's now attracting a lot of attention from investors.
Yeah, these sources point out that over the past decade,
Yeah.
it's become less about just the culture and more about economic opportunity,
Right.
like attracting industries and really changing the landscape.
Yeah.
What do you make of this rapid development,
Um,
especially in a place that's been known for something completely different for so long?
well, it's a classic pattern.
Okay.
Regions start gaining traction, infrastructure improves, and
Right.
suddenly investors take notice. We saw this happen in Bangalore and Hyderabad,
Yeah.
and it seems Odisha is on a similar trajectory.
One thing that caught my eye was the mention of government initiatives,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
Make in Odisha and the State Housing for All scheme.
Right.
How do these programs influence the real estate market?
Well, they're catalysts.
Okay.
Make in Odisha focuses on attracting industries,
Yeah.
boosting manufacturing.
Uh-huh.
This means more jobs,
Right.
which naturally increases demand for housing.
Of course.
At the same time, the State Housing for All scheme
Right.
focuses on providing affordable housing options, which
Right.
further stimulates the real estate market.
Right. And those jobs bring in professionals from all over.
Absolutely.
The source mentions growth in IT manufacturing and logistics.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people needing places to live.
Yeah.
What kind of signal does that send about Odisha's future growth?
Well, it suggests a strong upward trend.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of influential players,
Yeah.
your source highlights Vedanta Limited,
Right.
a major corporation in Odisha.
Hmm.
They reported over $17 billion in revenue
Wow.
and employ nearly 100,000 people globally.
Okay.
This scale of operation has a ripple effect throughout the entire local economy, including the real estate market.
Right.
It's a sign of stability and long-term potential.
That's impressive. And then there's NTPC,
Right.
India's largest energy conglomerate,
Uh,
which also has a significant presence in Odisha.
yeah.
It makes you think about the stability and the long-term prospects
Right.
for anyone considering real estate there.
Absolutely. Investors look for signs of a strong, growing economy that can support real estate value over time.
Yeah.
The presence of these large companies,
Right.
combined with the government initiatives,
Yeah.
it's a very optimistic picture for Odisha.
Now, the podcast we have here draws a comparison between Odisha
Yeah.
and the big metro cities in India.
Uh-huh.
It points out that Odisha is significantly more affordable.
Right.
I imagine that's a big draw for investors.
Affordability is key,
Yeah.
especially when you consider how expensive major metro areas can be.
Yeah.
Emerging markets like Odisha become very attractive alternatives.
Right.
The source even points to consistent property value growth of 8 to 12% annually
Wow.
in key locations over the past 5 years.
Okay.
That's a compelling figure.
And what about rental yields?
Sure.
They mentioned places like Bhubaneswar and Jharsuguda having yields of 4 to 6%,
Right.
which seems like a good return.
That's a key indicator for anyone interested in passive income.
Yeah.
Those kinds of rental yields make real estate a very attractive investment,
Uh-huh.
especially in a market that's showing consistent growth like Odisha.
Yeah.
It's something to think about, particularly with all the volatility we've seen in the stock market recently.
Right.
The source even mentions late 2024 being a real roller coaster ride.
Exactly. The source made a good point about that.
Uh-huh.
It seems like real estate offers a level of stability and security
It does.
that the stock market sometimes lacks.
It's a tangible asset
Right.
with the potential for appreciation and rental income.
Uh-huh.
People are drawn to that sense of security,
Right.
especially in uncertain times.
So let's zero in on Jharsuguda.
Okay.
It's being called a rising real estate hotspot.
Yeah.
What's making this particular location stand out?
Well, Jharsuguda seems to be at the intersection of several key factors.
Okay.
The enhanced connectivity provided by the Jharsuguda airport is
Right.
one major advantage.
Right.
Better transportation links always attract businesses and investment.
And those big players we talked about, Vedanta and NTPC,
Right.
they have a strong presence in Jharsuguda, don't they?
Yes, and that has a huge impact.
Okay.
The source mentions Vedanta's aluminium smelter and power plants
Yeah?
as key drivers of economic activity there.
Right.
These large-scale operations create jobs,
Uh-huh.
attract supporting industries, boosting the overall economy.
And that, of course, leads to greater housing demands. The podcast we're looking at mentions new residential projects like Airport Enclave,
Yeah.
offering luxury amenities at affordable prices.
Right.
That sounds like a sweet spot
It is.
for both residents and investors.
It's a very appealing proposition.
Yeah.
People want a modern lifestyle with amenities.
Right.
But they also want to get good value for their money.
Yeah.
It seems like Jharsuguda offers that balance.
Yeah.
And with a projected property value increase of 30% over the next 5 years.
Wow.
It's easy to see why investors are taking notice.
Yeah,
It's pretty amazing.
it is.
Yeah,
So Jharsuguda sounds really promising.
it does.
But if someone's considering investing, what are some smart strategies to keep in mind?
Yeah, that's the big question, right?
Yeah, I mean, where do you even begin to look for opportunities?
Well, the podcast highlights a few interesting strategies.
Okay.
Choosing the right location is crucial.
Right.
It recommends focusing on areas
Yeah.
close to those growth corridors,
Yeah.
IT parks, and infrastructure projects
Mhm.
we talked about earlier.
Right.
These are prime spots that tend to see the best appreciation over time.
Makes sense. So what are the advantages of investing in an under-construction project
Okay.
as opposed to buying something that's ready to move into?
Under construction projects typically offer better price points.
Okay.
You're essentially buying at a lower cost.
Mhm.
And as the project progresses and nears completion, the value generally goes up.
Right.
However, it's important to be aware of the potential downsides.
Okay.
Construction delays and fluctuations in market conditions are factors to consider.
Right.
Choosing a reputable developer is essential to mitigate those risks.
Right. So doing your research on the developer is a must.
Absolutely.
What about the potential for rental income?
Sure.
What should investors be looking at there?
Areas with high rental demand are ideal for generating passive income.
Right.
Proximity to employment hubs, universities, and good transportation options can all drive up demand.
Yeah.
Do your homework and understand the local market dynamics before jumping in.
And the source also mentions leveraging government policies.
Yes.
How can someone go about doing that?
There are often tax breaks and schemes designed to benefit both homebuyers and investors.
Okay.
For example, the PMAY, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana,
Right.
can provide significant advantages.
Uh-huh.
It's worth exploring those options and figuring out how to maximize your investment returns.
So it seems like location, careful research, and understanding the ins and outs of the market
Yeah.
are all key takeaways here.
Absolutely.
But we've been focusing on Jharsuguda.
Right.
What about other areas in Odisha?
Sure.
Is there potential elsewhere too?
Yes, absolutely. Odisha has a diverse range of investment opportunities.
Right.
Bhubaneswar, the state capital,
Yeah.
is a major economic and educational hub with a robust real estate market.
Right.
Cuttack, another historic city, is also experiencing significant growth.
Uh-huh.
And then you have emerging areas like Puri and Rukula,
Okay.
which are attracting interest from both developers and investors.
Wow. So it sounds like Odisha has a lot to offer.
It does.
But let's shift gears a bit and think about the experience of actually living in Odisha.
Okay.
What's it like?
Odisha is a fascinating blend of tradition and modernity.
Okay.
It has a rich cultural heritage with ancient temples, vibrant festivals, and stunning natural beauty.
Right.
At the same time, it's experiencing rapid economic growth,
Mm-hmm.
attracting young professionals and entrepreneurs from all over India.
It sounds like a unique mix.
It is.
And for those who value a connection to nature,
Yeah,
Odisha has that in spades, right?
absolutely. Odisha has a breathtaking coastline with pristine beaches,
Wow.
lush green forests, and serene lakes.
Okay.
It's a nature lover's paradise.
So it's not just about the investment potential.
Right.
It's about immersing yourself in a vibrant culture
Yeah.
and a beautiful natural environment.
It's the whole package.
But for those who are considering making Odisha their home,
Yeah.
what are some of the practical aspects they should think about?
Infrastructure is constantly improving in Odisha,
Okay.
but it's important to research the specific areas you're interested in.
Right.
Look into things like connectivity, access to healthcare, and educational facilities.
Mm-hmm.
Consider your lifestyle needs and whether the location aligns with your priorities.
Right. So it's about finding the right fit.
Exactly.
But what about the cost of living?
Sure.
How does that compare to other parts of India?
Odisha is generally considered to be more affordable than many major cities.
Okay.
Housing costs, transportation, and everyday expenses tend to be lower,
Uh-huh.
which can be a big draw for people relocating from other parts of India.
So it's potentially a good move financially,
Yeah.
especially if you're coming from a high-cost city.
Right.
But what about the social aspects?
Okay.
What's the community like?
Odisha is known for its warm and welcoming people.
Okay.
There's a strong sense of community and tradition, which can make it easy to feel at home.
It sounds like a place where you can build connections and find a sense of belonging.
It is.
But with all this growth and development,
Uh-huh.
is there a risk of losing that traditional charm?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, Odisha is managing to balance progress with preservation.
Okay.
There's a conscious effort to maintain the state's cultural heritage
Right.
while embracing modern advancements.
So it's not just about building new structures.
Right.
It's about preserving the soul of the place.
Exactly.
Now, we've touched on the practical aspects of living in Odisha,
Mm-hmm.
but what about the intangible benefits?
The intangible benefits?
Yeah.
I like that. Tell me more.
Well, I'm thinking about the overall quality of life,
Okay.
the peace of mind, the sense of community,
Right.
the connection to nature,
Uh-huh.
those things that contribute to a fulfilling life.
You're right. Those are essential considerations.
Yeah.
And from what we've learned about Odisha, it
Yeah.
seems to offer a rich tapestry of experiences that go beyond the material.
It's about finding a place where you can truly thrive, not just exist.
Right.
And that leads us to something I've been thinking about.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the economic potential of Odisha,
Mm-hmm.
the attractive features of Jharsuguda, the practicalities of living there.
Yeah.
But what about the impact of all this growth
Right.
on the people who already call Odisha home?
Yeah.
What are their stories?
That's a crucial perspective,
Uh-huh.
and one we often overlook when discussing investments and development.
Right.
We tend to get caught up in the numbers
Yeah.
and forget about the human element.
Right.
So what have you uncovered about the lives of the people in Odisha?
Well, I went a little deeper, beyond the reports and the forecasts,
Mhm.
and found some really heartwarming stories about the people
Okay.
who live in Odisha.
I'm really curious to hear what you found.
Yeah.
What are people saying about this, this transformation
Right.
that's happening all around them?
There's a real sense of optimism.
Okay.
Like, people are genuinely excited about the opportunities
Yeah.
that come with this economic growth.
Mhm.
They see it as a chance to build a better future for their
Yeah.
families.
That's wonderful. Rapid change can be unsettling,
Yeah.
but it sounds like the people of Odisha are embracing it
Yeah, they are.
with open arms.
There's also a lot of pride
Yeah.
in seeing their state become this hub of innovation and progress.
Mhm.
They want to share Odisha's unique culture and heritage with the world.
That pride is contagious.
Yeah.
It can spark creativity and inspire entrepreneurship,
Right.
bring people together with a shared sense of purpose.
And it's not just about economic aspirations.
Right.
The people I spoke with have a deep connection to their land,
Yeah.
a respect for tradition, and a strong sense of community.
Those values are so important,
Yeah.
especially in the midst of rapid development like this.
Right.
They provide a foundation for sustainable growth,
Yeah.
where economic progress goes hand in hand with social well-being.
One story that really stuck with me was about a young woman who returned to Odisha after working in a big city
Okay.
for several years.
Mm-hmm.
She saw the potential in her hometown, started her own business,
Wow.
and is now thriving.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about the opportunities emerging in Odisha.
Right.
It's attracting talent, encouraging entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
and creating this ripple effect of positive change.
And it's not just individuals.
Right.
Local communities are actively involved in supporting this growth.
Mm-hmm.
They're investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure.
That's a crucial element of sustainable development.
Right.
When communities are empowered to shape their own future,
Yeah.
benefits are much more widespread and
Right.
the impact is more meaningful.
So when we talk about Odisha's real estate market,
Yeah.
it's not just about square footage and rental yields.
Right.
It's about investing in a place where people are hopeful, where
Mhm.
communities are thriving, and where the future is full of promise.
Beautifully put. It's about recognizing the human side of investment and
Mhm.
understanding that economic growth is ultimately about improving people's lives.
And that brings us back to you, our listener.
Yes.
As you consider Odisha as an investment destination,
Mm-hmm.
We encourage you to look beyond the numbers,
Absolutely.
explore the rich culture,
Yeah.
connect with the local communities,
Yeah.
and discover the heart and soul of this vibrant state.
It's a journey of discovery,
Yeah.
not just for your investment portfolio,
Right.
but for your understanding of India's dynamic and ever-changing landscape.
We've only scratched the surface today,
Yeah, we have.
but we hope we've given you a glimpse into the exciting possibilities
Uh-huh.
that Odisha holds.
It's a fascinating place.
What aspects of Odisha's story resonated with you?
Yeah.
What questions are you still pondering?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out to us on social media or through our website.
Absolutely.
Remember, knowledge is most valuable
Yeah.
when it's shared and discussed.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep your eyes open for those hidden gems
Yeah,
that lie beyond the well-trodden paths.
absolutely.
Until next time, happy investing.